I'm excited to bring you part 3 of my discussion with Andrew Wexler. Andrew is the CEO of Herschend Enterprises, a tremendously successful company that operates theme parks, resorts, and aquariums all around the country. Herschend was recently honored by Go Beyond Profit for their tremendous generosity. And I asked Andrew, as the CEO of arguably the most successful company in their industry, if he could relate one thing to other leaders, what advice would he give? And in his answer, he talked about success over the long term being based on 2 things: sustainability and balance. And I think these are concepts that Andrew lays out very well that are going to be powerful for every leader. This is going to be seen by a lot of business leaders all over the state and probably around the country as well. And so I just want you to take a moment to talk to other business leaders and who maybe have embraced some of these concepts, but many of whom it may sound a little foreign, or this idea of I love the name of this organization, going beyond profit. Like, well, that sounds a little weird. Just from your experience and based on Herschend, like, if you could deliver a message to other business leaders, what would it be?
I'd say first thing you need to do is create a common language so everybody understands what you're talking about. So it's like we talked about when you say love in the workplace, that may be taken in a bad way, right? So we want to make sure we have a common language so everybody understands what we're talking about, and we have 9 defined behaviors that we're looking for in our leaders. And so making sure everybody understands what the definitions of those behaviors are, or those words that we talk about. And then it's about creating the right structure that allows that to be trained throughout the organization so everybody understands it and everybody's aligned. I'd say that's the first thing. I think the second is understand that there are going to be times when you're going to have to make decisions that may be a little counter to how you've always done it in a pure return on investment only defined by dollars, right? So if you think about the reason we use dollars to define return on investment, because it's easy to be counted. If you think more of economics and utility, which is the benefit you get from something, it's usually more than just a dollar. There are other benefits, and we've talked about that, whether it be emotional or psychological within the organization. And so you've got to start broadening how you think about benefit. It's hard to quantify, but if you can get everybody aligned with the right language and everybody believing in the mission, then you can start to see people make the decisions that maybe they weren't going to make before, and do things that at the time might feel a little foreign, but they're going to do the right thing for themselves, for the people around them, for their communities, because it will pay off in the long run. You may not see the dollars, next quarter or next year, but this company's been around 70 years for a reason, and we're as strong as we've ever been. Record profits, record growth, and the reason is we think about things in long term. And if you want to be successful over the long term, you've got to be sustainable. And sustainability is all about balance: customers, shareholders, and employees, and then other stakeholders, community, vendors, and you've got to think of that in balance. And if you put that in balance, then you're going to be able to survive the long term. It's really funny to hear, on CNBC and other news channels, the concept of stakeholder capitalism. Jack and Pete were doing this before there was a word for it. They would, if somebody was hungry in the community, they would go take food to them. Not because they had a program per se, but that's where their heart was. And now what we try to do is institutionalize it, which can sound like a bad word, but you want to make sure it's programmed into the business, whether it be Share It Forward, our employee assistance, Grow You. We have foundations at each of our property that focus on their communities because they're close to their communities. Why should Andrew Wexler in Atlanta, Georgia, define a program that's needed in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, for their local community? I'm not there. I don't feel the pain of the local community. And so through our local foundations, we address local needs. So Silver Dollar City, they have a Care for Kids program that works with public schools that identifies needs of at-risk kids. So some kids, their parents can afford to get them a winter coat or new shoes. And so Silver Dollar City comes alongside the school and allows them, to be able to provide that. Dollywood Foundation, we have an incredible program called the Imagination Library. So our partnership with Dolly Parton, it's an amazing partnership. Sevier County, where Dollywood is, used to have a really poor literacy rate. And this is important to Dolly. If you've ever watched any of her movies or heard her story, her father couldn't read or write, and it was a huge source of embarrassment for him. And so we came together with our partnership and said, how can we improve literacy in Sevier County? We brought in educators from all over the country, experts, and they said the best thing you can do is expose kids from 1 to 5 to books. And so we started in Sevier County. Every child born in the county, we gave them a book from a month, from birth to 5 years old. The program was so successful that now we send a book a month to 10% of every child born in America. Yeah, and it's amazing.
Wow.